Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is a Let's Play Danganronpa 2, part 46, 46 or 7 is one of those is correct. Previous video we started the first class, not the first class trial. What am I okay? I don't know if I'm okay. We started what they're billing as the last class trial, the very opposite of the first class trial. We're trying to figure out if Nagito killed himself or not.
Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I think it's definitely possible it was a suicide. I think it's also possible that it's framed as a suicide, as a very elaborate suicide.
A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Now, if the choices are he killed himself or it's someone who's not the six of us killed him, I would prefer it being that he killed himself, because even though I had a slight problem with the suicide in the first game, just because the game never clearly established that a suicide would count as a homicide, I don't really have a problem with there being a class trial for a suicide in this game, because they have clearly laid out that a suicide would count. Because, like, in the first, like, I get the argument for why a suicide should count as a murder, but I do not think it's very intuitive. So, like, in that fourth class trial in the first game, like, yeah, I was on board with the idea of it being a suicide, but I was also like, I don't think that would even count. Like, I was under the assumption that it wouldn't count, so I thought there was, like, something more to it, when it was just like, nah, she killed herself.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Yeah?
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Be gone, thought.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
She's got a point.
That's definitely wrong.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That is entirely too fucking expensive, lady.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito.
Well, Nagito can't touch her. He's dead.
I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
Yeah?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
I mean, maybe it's impossible for you. What if you, like, got it in your teeth and stretched your neck like you're Mr. Fantastic and did it?
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
But, wait, you're paying us now? Not only did you try and charge me, but now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it!
What if Nagito was a carny in his past life? And he threw the knife into the air and it just happened to land and pierce his hand.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest!
But we never gave a way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand? It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this. Yeah, there's an answer. There's the answer. You've got, well, there's blood on the girder, you see. I'll have you know that there's blood that is on the girder. You may not be aware of this. Now, if you can't figure out why this clue is important, then, you know, maybe you should just seek mental help because it's so obvious.
How could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
Okay.
He threw the knife into the air.
You've got a point. Okay, I'm going to
And let the knife fall.
let the knife fall.
Could he stab
Okay,
his hand that way?
I kind of agree,
Is he a throwing knife expert?
but the girder doesn't
Maybe
line up
he
with his
propped
hand.
the knife somehow
I don't think the girder
and
lines up.
slammed his right hand down on it?
Slammed his right hand down?
Propped it onto what?
That doesn't make any sense.
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
Could he?
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily.
And plus, we're trying to...
We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
If Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself in the palm, how did he do it? Okay, what does it even look like? Because, I mean, it's stabbed into the ground. So the idea of it being propped up somewhere doesn't really make sense to me. Because, I mean, it looks like it's stabbed into the ground, like it's impaling his hand down. The girder... I feel like the girder has more to do with the spear than the knife, but we'll try it. Or what about anything? Is there
How could
anything
he stab
else?
his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air,
Just out of due diligence,
let
I'm
the
gonna
knife
try
fall.
this. Let the
could
knife
he
fall.
stab his hand that way?
Is that what we wanted? No, okay. The knife fell into
It's
his
wrong?
hand. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that
Even
makes
if
more
Nagito's
sense.
right hand was free.
The plushie, maybe? Something to do with the plushie? A huge bloody hole in the stomach as if it were stabbed. We could try the plushie.
How could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
Like if you had the knife
If you threw the knife
poking
into
out
the
of this
air
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
let the knife
I kind
fall.
of. But how do you get it stuck
Could he
into the
stab
ground?
his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife
Somehow.
Okay, I don't really
agree with that.
buy that, but whatever. I mean, I get what they're going for.
The life-sized Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
So it's like you prop the knife into the plushie and then you slam your hand down on it. But how do you get the knife impaled? Because I mean, it looks like it's impaled into the ground. So how do you do that? Because if you were to just like slam the knife onto the ground, it would pop out of your hand. Not slam into the ground with just the force of, without any extra force on the handle. I mean, I guess you could maybe argue that it's not actually in the ground, it's just poking. Yeah, I don't know.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
Okay, but like, how? Well, I guess so he did that before he was tying everything up? Because how would he be able to reach over there?
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
1 second. Alright, I'm back. Just had to respond to something really quick.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
Seems, so he stabs himself before he starts tying everything up? Because the plushie is so far away from him.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
Because there's no way he could have reached over and stabbed himself on the plushie. I mean, I guess maybe you could have and then pushed it away. I guess that makes sense.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed
Okay,
the plushie.
yeah, that makes
so
sense.
he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
Oh, why kill himself?
The spear.
Oh.
Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear.
I
right?
mean, that's actually the spear is the thing that makes this look like a suicide the most, actually.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
Wrong.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I mean, maybe you would. Big and thick. That's Kazuichi's inner thoughts right there.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Kazuichi is rapidly hitting the back button so he can read the log over and over again.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need you recorded. For reasons.
Kazuichi, you need to be bonked. So many times.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, It's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear.
Yes, because you've been penetrated by something so big and thick.
It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
No.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
So I've never actually noticed that Terry's X is a knife and fork instead of just being a normal X.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
Yeah, maybe.
Just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone.
Since, no, Monomi, you don't know, Chapter 5 is immune from such silly things as rules.
If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monomi's sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
So, I mean, if we just assume for a second, the person who's pushing the suicide angle the most would be the most suspicious in a situation if this is an actual murder. I mean, I do think, like, if of these people, if I think anyone killed him, I feel like it's probably Sonya. Like, she's the character I trust the least. Maybe Akane. Like, I feel like the only two... I mean, Chiake is possible, but, like, Fuyuhiko Kazuichi, I pretty much trust, like, 100%. I feel like it's probably Sonya would be, like, if it's one of the other five or is the actual killer. I feel like it's more likely that well, I don't know, the suicide angle, I don't buy into it near as much since they've started pushing it so early.
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed.
Which is why I'm doing the betraying for once.
But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
Byakuya's exes should be drumsticks.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
No, it wouldn't.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
Tell him, Hajime.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together.
I do appreciate her just straight up saying, I got no fucking clue, dude. As opposed to being like, well, maybe Hajime should let them know.
That's how.
Or if you just
We
think
made
about
it
it
this
really
far up
hard,
till
you'll
now.
figure it out.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We've made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. And even now.
Alright, let's do
Alright,
this.
let's do it. More spinny spin fun times. Let's go. They're going really heavy on the spinny spin fun times, which, I mean, I have said it's my favorite of the minigames. Or it's the one that I think is the most solid.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear?
Knife, blood
Let's
on
work
left
together and
hand.
think this through.
Yeah, probably blood on left hand.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife,
Right hand was covered by the knife.
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
But does it?
No, that's wrong!
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
So far, I do really like the trial and its prompts. Even though, like, there was me getting messed up, like, 2 times now. Or wait. Was it just the Kazuichi thing that tripped me up? Or was there something else that tripped me up? I don't know.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
No.
That settles the description of that bloodstain. But it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Which would be facing out if your hand was closed into a fist.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's...
We might need to
whoops.
think and use our imaginations for a bit.
Imagination.
If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
Jerking it. He was gripping and ripping, boys.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand.
Kazuichi, don't even say it, okay? It's okay for me to make the lewd jokes, but you can't do it. It's a double standard, I know, but you're just gonna have to learn to live with it.
That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
She's closer.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's the
Hey,
problem.
Chiaki, what do you think?
Blood on the garter, dude.
Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
He was gripping the cord. Oh, he's gripping his shaft, all right.
I see! That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
This trial may as well just be called the Hajime and Chiaki show. Like, no one else is really doing anything but being like, actually, you're wrong. And then they're like, okay, yeah, never mind, you're right.
Ah, you're right.
See?
So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
How in the hell did you even get that idea?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki?
Do we really? I mean, come on, it's so obvious. Do we really need to go through a prompt for it?
I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear? A little thing called gravity, brought to you by Sir Isaac Newton.
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
Let's not.
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long acronym, dude.
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
Like, why do we have to spend so long on this?
How it was positioned.
You know? I feel like the game does pick weird things to be like, hey, this is what we're going to spend 10 minutes on. And some of the other stuff, it's like, you should obviously know this very kind of obscure thing. Like, a swimsuit with gravel inside of it. It's been a few episodes since we've referenced that. Had to bring it back. Could it be the state of the spear and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment? If I put those words together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was in the state it wasn't before it above? Is this is logic dive, okay. We don't have to test our spelling ability. Okay, do we jump with Y? We jump with Y, or triangle. Okay. Oh boy. Oh man, they're getting tricksy. They're getting tricksy with it. Okay, we can't dance. We can't dance. We can't goof around as much as we did previously. Question 1. Above Nagito. Hit him with little bunny hops. What? What? How have we lost life? Oh, I guess that we had low life before we even... Oh god, you're... Okay, you're new. I refuse to slow down. The B button is for cowards. What? Hit him with little dance moves. What? As long as you make sound effects while you go, you have a significantly lower chance to be hit. See, I stopped making sound effects. That's how big I hit there. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else? Ceiling girder. Just go straight forehead. Okay. We're going. Oh, okay. Like I said, B button's for cowards, but sometimes you gotta be I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a coward. At least in situations where I'm being a coward. When other people are cowards, it's not good, but when I'm a coward, it's okay. It's a double standard, of course, but... Okay, question 3. The spears... Wait. What item connects both the spear and the girder? Well, I guess it could be the rope, but I feel like it's cord. Okay. 'Cause I don't really know what it means by... Oh, rope. For some reason, I was thinking rope and cord were the same thing. So I was like, I feel like all these are kind of the same, but yeah, rope and cord are different.
It's all coming together.
Don't really know if we needed a minigame for that, but...
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
Have you, like, people never seen, like a winch?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Like
Nagito
a pulley?
probably slung
That's
the
really
cord
what I
over the
meant.
ceiling
Like
girder.
I mean, a
and
winch
using that as a
is
support.
kind of makes sense as well, but like a pulley system, you know?
He hoisted the spear directly above
Hoisted.
him.
That's a $2 word right there.
And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
Maybe.
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that.
I'm still, like, I just can't buy into the suicide angle because we're pursuing it so early.
If someone else did this, there's no reason they go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
Unless they wanted to make it seem like a very elaborate suicide, which is in keeping with Nagito.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was.
But I'm just, like, I don't really know. I'm trying to think, like, who first brought up the suicide angle? Was it Chiaki? Or is it Sonya? I mean, Sonya's repeatedly said that, you know, oh, none of us could be the killer.
Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
And we still haven't solved the central question of why kill himself.
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide?
No, we don't get too locked in.
Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
See, I would have assumed he stabbed himself first, but yeah, I guess he could have stabbed himself while he was, tied up already.
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake.
I don't know.
By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer.
I mean, that does seem like something Nagito would do, but...
His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
Well, I mean, I think in Nagito's mind, it would be more of like, this is like an ultimate test of our ability to overcome any and all obstacles.
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez, and I was starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I do like how his thing is all goopy, too. I completely misunderstand his capacity for malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I'd forgotten all about it until now. Is this our halfway point? If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However,
Oh,
there
no?
is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
Nah.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
Yeah.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
I still think it was Monami.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion.
Because, like, one thing that... Does the clue actually mention this in Sonya's account? Yeah, Monami was peeking at the whole thing. So Monami, who I guess we're going to assume is not actually Monami. Monami is important because, like, they would have known that the bombs were fake. And something, I don't know. I haven't really fully thought through it. I haven't had the chance to, but I feel like it's Monami.
The bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so he'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense.
And that would also, Monami being the imposter would explain the diary.
It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or...?
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
It's actually, I don't think, ever been wrong in the entire game.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
I think her gut, like, has almost always been right, if not every single time.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh?
No.
That means we're done with this last class trial and
No.
we can leave this island, right?
Absolutely incorrect.
It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
Who's gonna Shiake save us?
No.
Okay,
Hold on a
Hajime.
sec.
Hajime's saving us, okay.
Hold on. Why?
We got a 12 angry men this sumbitch. Even though the answer seems obvious, we can't go with it.
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is. No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
See, that's why you're the #1 on the power rankings, Chiaki.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death, and it's something that even he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Piece of evidence he couldn't mess with. What hasn't been used? Bombs were fake. The notebook? The gloves? Poison? File. I feel like it's one of these. Maybe something to do with the poison?
Crap!
No. A piece of evidence that he couldn't even mess with. The notebook!
Crap!
I mean, these are the mysteries that are still remaining. Something related to his death. There's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. Burned rope, survival knife, blood, duct tape, spear, plushie, blood, panels, lighter. MP3 player, Sonya's account.
Crap!
And we'll eventually get it through process of elimination. Paper.
Crap!
I feel like it's something to do with the poison, but I don't know which one they want here. Gloves.
Crap!
The Academy file.
Crap!
Something related to Nagito's death. The rope. I mean, it's not the rope, is it? Because, I mean, I just assumed he burned the rope and then tied it around his arm, right?
Crap!
Okay, yeah. Naki is worried about something else. Something related to his death. The panels? How did he set the panels up, maybe? Well, no, I mean, that wouldn't be that hard. The lighter? The MP3 play? I mean, all these stuff could be, like, set up ahead of time, you know?
Crap!
Like... I mean, you could have set the lighter up, you could have set the panels up. The panels.
Crap!
I mean, I don't know. I honestly have no clue what they want here. Survival knife. We got it from the base. Blood on left hand. Duct tape. The blood. I mean, I feel like all this makes sense.
Crap!
Something related to Nagito that he could not mess with. Go back. Did we try MP3 player?
Crap!
I honestly have no fucking clue what they want here. Like, knowing when to do it?
I see!
Ah, okay. I've been under the assumption he
Is
could
it about
just...
the Monokuma file?
He could just hear the fireworks? Is that what they're going for?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh?
Like,
There
I
was
thought...
something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
I thought that's what the fireworks were for, so that he knew when to drop the spear. I feel like that doesn't contradict anything. The body was discovered inside the warehouse. Estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Multiple stab wounds, laceration on the left arm, a knife impaled through his right hand. I mean, what's hidden in the Monokuma file? I guess time of death? Okay, now we're going to be doing this with very, very little... Okay, activate the Activate the healing. I kind of forgot you could even do concentration here. Something time of death. Probably is what they want. Wait, time doesn't fit. Okay, cause of death. No? Okay. That's not how you spell cause. Oh man, this is it's definitely a little bit much. Cause. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that's. I was told this one got a little ridiculous on hard. I see the thought process behind it. Yeah, you really have to use the concentration ability a lot. That's not. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. We ran out of juice, dude. Okay. I'm just looking for an E. Just a simple boy. Looking for an E in the world? And an A? Oh man, the things I would do to an A right now. Oh wait, I had an A? Where did the A come from? Where did you go? Yeah, we like are still actually out healing everything. Yeah. Dude, look how many frickin' F's are on the board. Do you even, I mean, I guess you... What am I looking for? I'm looking for an H. It's not like it's hard.
I got it!
Just have the infinite HP ability unlocked.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Yeah, so... I guess that probably connects back to the poison. Because... I still kind of like the idea that the poison is actually what killed him in the fire grenades. Which would kind of mean that we're all the killer? Okay, I don't really... I guess it doesn't actually say the cause of death. But, I mean, I don't really like that being the thing. Because it's previously stated that things are kept ambiguous in the Monokuma file if it would solve the mystery. So, them trying to keep it... like, it makes sense for it to not mention a cause of death because the suicide was intended to be ambiguous as to whether he was killed with the knife or the spear. So saying that it was the spear outright would have been, like, interfering with the case, potentially. So it's not really an outlier for it not to mention the cause of death. Because, I mean, they even previously mentioned that, like, I can't remember. Oh, yeah, when you're talking to Akane, she says that it mentions the time, which means, you know, in the previous cases, the time of death wasn't mentioned because it was important. I mean, I guess you could make the connection that the reason it's not... I don't know. I feel like... I guess what I'm trying to say here is that, like, I understand what they're going for, but it's not immediately obvious that the problem here is that it doesn't mention a cause of death. Because you kind of just accept at this point that the Monokuma files sometimes don't mention things if it's important to the case, and we've already established that whether he's killed with a knife or a spear is one of the crucial pieces of the investigation.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, no. I mean, I feel like it was more that it was because there's ambiguity there. Because, I mean, they even say, like, at the start of the thing, it's like, oh, was he killed with the knife or the spear?
Well, Monokuma,
I plead the fifth!
Oh, there are so many amendments to the Constitution.
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
Nagito's our best bro, dude.
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
I tricked you into thinking that I committed suicide so that you would think that I wanted to get you all killed, but in actuality it was not a suicide and I wanted you to
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh?
Nagito's ghost right now is like, I'm gonna brain flex on these guys so hard.
Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
Hey, Hajime finally said the thing I've been saying the entire game. Like, these people aren't my friends.
What should we do, you guys?
We only have
Should
three,
we
I mean,
proceed
we only
with
have
the
3 friends. Chiake, Kazuichi, and Fuyuhiko. Those are the only ones I trust.
I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied. Even if it's just to be safe.
Akane and Sonya, maybe we could trust you if we had more free time events.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be alright. That's what I believe.
So I'm trying to remember back to the poison thing. Sonya was the one that mentioned the fire supplies, but she also makes mention of the fact that there used to be more, which is kind of not something you would normally say. Like if you were trying to hide the, like if you were the one that, I mean, granted, we know Nagito's the only one who really had access to the poison, so I don't know.
Aww.
I do feel like the fire grenades are the actual cause of death, that they had something to do with poison.
Splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
Shut up. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said that. I was just gonna say, that sounds like a Nagito line. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. Nah, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. Okay, now that's our halfway point. Overall, we've had some difficulties on the prompts. I think I enjoy the trial so far.
No.
I think the prompts that we've messed up on, I feel confident in saying that's my fault, not that the prompts are bad. I think the Monokuma file one's a little sketchy, but I get what they're going for there. Well, if you think about it, well, I didn't even read the first line. Whoa, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought voting time was going to start, but well, when you think about it rationally, there's no way it was going to happen. We haven't done this bit yet. He's got a point. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Monami? Hey, how much longer are you planning to sulk? Let's get along we always do. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand the silence when you're alone with someone else. So, Monami and I are the bestest of best friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Enough! Why do I have to be hated that much? Besides the fact that you snap it like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teensy-tiny 1mm bit. How sad. Distrusting your friends is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know? Yeah, you hear that, Kazuichi? We aren't even friends in the first place. then as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother. And it's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys. You got something you want to admit, Monokuma? Well, there may be some demands for that. I actually fell for it. I took the man bait. Okay. All rise.
I'm Monami. By now, there's nothing more for me to say.
Yeah?
Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now. Everyone is united against despair. They're totally awesome. That's why I'm gonna fight too. I will fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation.
By not talking anymore. Got it.
That's basically it.
So if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma file?
Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this? In the beginning, our discussion advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear. It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's what I think.
Other possibilities. Huh.
If something other than the spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife stabbed into his hand, but...
That was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you think?
I mean, if you stab they got some arteries in your thighs, so I mean, you could make the assumption that that's actually what killed him, just the blood loss.
If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds...
Like, honestly, even though I do think it's the poison is the cause of death, it would make more sense for the cause of death to be blood loss from stabbing your legs, and then he bleeds out, and then he lets go of the spear, and so he was already dead by the time the spear hit him. Like, that's a more logical argument.
Are we finished already?
I feel like... it's possible that we overlooked something.
Overlooked, huh?
Then let's bring up whatever we can think of, one after the other. That might clear some things up.
Exactly! We should cooperate at a time like this.
Fatal wound that wasn't the spear. We don't even know if it actually exists, but if it does, we need to find out what it is no matter what. Poison. Poison. The dang poison, my dude. Oh boy. Everybody loves poison.
Let us consider a different fatal wound.
How do I activate healing? Dude, why did I wait so long to get this ability?
It's not the knife in his right hand, right?
It's like the instant win ability.
It's not the other wounds, right?
With all those wounds,
I mean, you still probably
maybe he
won't
simply bled to death.
get a good grade because you're still messing up, but at least you're not
There's
failing.
no way he burned to death.
No way he burned to death.
Was the cause of death something that cannot be...
Get out of my
agree
face.
with that.
Get out. Be gone with your low-level takes. I mean, really, there's an argument to be made for us,
Totally
like,
forgot about that possibility.
we could have drawn it out to fully heal,
If
but
the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
that would be unbelievably boring, so I'm never going to do that.
Poison? It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden?
I remember, when I went to investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange.
Yeah, his hentai collection.
Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison.
Poison?
Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing.
Yeah, it's actually for poisoning use only?
I see. Now that you mention it, there's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all.
I mean, it would be pretty funny if it didn't, if they just never brought it up again.
If poison was the cause of death, it would not leave an obvious wound on Nagito's body.
However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on a body that's been poisoned.
I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine.
What does that mean?
And, like, if
Well,
you're implying that he's
even
the
if
one who
blood
did it,
blotches
then
appear, if the body was already covered in blood,
why would he admit that?
there's no way we'd notice them easily, right?
I guess.
Did he wound his body just to camouflage them?
That's also a possibility.
But still, both of Nagito's hands were full. So how would he drink poison?
He didn't drink the poison.
His left hand was tied up and gripping the spear, and his right hand had a knife stuck in it.
If it was a slow-acting poison, it is possible he consumed it in advance.
Nah, the poison was fast acting.
No, the warning label on the bottle explicitly states the effect is instant.
Then it's impossible. Both his hands were full just before he died.
And this is when the hardtail appears.
What?
You're totally overvaluing that tail.
His mouth was covered with duct tape, you know. If he wanted to drink poison, how'd he get it past his lips?
If there's no way he could have drank the poison, it might be impossible.
Maybe he was just gargling it the entire time.
Just kidding. It's not like we're out of possibilities yet.
Are there any left?
Hell no. No matter how you slice it, he was totally killed by that spear.
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easier to think about what really killed him.
The fire grenades.
Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison's warning label. Maybe.
I mean, it's probably the evaporate quickly, I assume, is what they're going for. In a gaseous state, it is heavier than air. I mean, I'm trying to think what... I mean, maybe that has something to do with the smoke from the fire. It would be under the smoke. The way the poison entered Nagito's body. The answer is written on the warning label. Try to remember it. Okay. This logic dive. Oh boy. We do be diving. Only 2 questions. Okay. We're going. Hit him with a little whatcha and a little watata. Oh my god. It's so hard. Okay, I probably shouldn't talk shit just yet. Okay, you gonna make me do like a random jump to infinity and beyond? Question 1. What state was the poison? It was, when it affected Nagito, it was a dang old gas, my dude. What? Oh god. Okay. Oh! Maybe got a little too aggressive. Like I said, a little too aggressive. Kind of like go into like a weird claw position to hit the B button while accelerating. And well, you know, keep it like to be able to quickly hit the Y and B buttons at the same time if you need to. Oh, okay. Oh, I tried to jump. But I was my finger kind of slipped off the thingy. Oh, come on, man. I don't like going this slow. I mean, I know slow and steady wins the race, but come on, man, this is ridiculous. Let's take a little risk. How did the poison through his nose? Yeah, he breathed it in. Yeah. Okay. And we're spinning. Oh boy, we're spinning. Okay, I'm getting a little motion sick here, not gonna lie. Oh, okay. You almost got me. You almost got me, game.
It's all coming together. What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it?
He was huffing poison.
Inhaled?
It's written on the poison's warning label.
This enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Though its volatility is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized.
Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas! Then all he had to do was breathe it in through his nose.
He breathed that poisonous gas inside the warehouse? But if poisonous gas had spread throughout the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
It says something about it. I can't remember. There was something in there. What was it on the warning label? Breaks down in minutes. Yeah, so it was probably already gone by the time we were able to get past the sprinklers and everything. It was the sprinklers.
I see! The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
The poison gas disappeared because of the sprinklers? It wasn't the fire?
Well, this was also written on the poison's warning label.
It's heavier than air and it breaks down in minutes and is susceptible to hydrolysis. It's possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications.
Of course! Hydrolysis! The chemical bonds that form the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinklers.
Also, the poison is apparently denser than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were standing.
But Nagito was laying down, so he must have breathed in a whole bunch of it, huh?
If it meets the requirements that well, maybe it's not just a possibility anymore.
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning.
Yeah.
The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the true...
What? Come on, Hajime. You gonna tell us what's gonna happen? Well, learning the what? Come on, use your words.
So what?
Huh?
Kazuichi, do you do anything besides just tell me I'm wrong and then be wrong yourself?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what? In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right? Then enough already!
Hush.
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like a suicide.
I mean, you still gotta fully explore everything.
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. All right, all the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right?
No, we still have to kill another hour.
Well, but...
What? There's still more?
I mean, not all the mysteries have been solved yet. Like, where did the poison get there? In the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? Was that really his motive? Is that really okay?
Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know.
Just trust your bond, brother, dude. Nagito's motive? Nagito's malice. Is that really okay? Can we really finish this here? Nah, that can't be.
There might have been an accomplice.
Dun dun dun.
Chiaki, what did you just say?
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
Yeah? Then, the meat on the bone, dude. The container?
I see!
Probably the meat on the bone.
Are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere.
He can't carry around poison without putting it in a container?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that was written on the warning label.
What, was he gonna, like, cup it in his hands while he walked over there? Of course he had needed a container.
The container probably melted in the fire.
Nah.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way it'd completely incinerate.
Yeah.
Even the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know?
You know?
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
So that's why you mentioned an accomplice.
That is impossible. I mean, an accomplice?
Sonya,
It is just too...
just for what it's worth, you're the most sus because you are the one who told us to get the fire grenades.
Like, does that really matter all that much?
So you shouldn't be act all like, oh no, you shouldn't pursue this line of reasoning.
I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
That's what you think.
You're right. Someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene.
Ah, you're right. You're totally right. That's totally it.
Mike makes tons of noise as I try and reposition it.
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
I need to like grease the hinge. It's gotten very squeaky. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to get hurt anymore, but by hurting someone else. Everyone's tired of doubting everyone else. I also feel that way. That's why I want to just rule this as Nagito's suicide. If I do that, nobody here has to get hurt. But
That's no good.
well, yeah, everyone would get hurt then if you do that.
Huh?
I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes."
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh? The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga!
So what we're experiencing then.
Still, that's pretty messed up.
That close-up was very slightly jarring.
Shut up! You just be quiet.
I never thought I'd agree with something Monami said.
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right?
No.
Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure out who it is?
But like, what you're not realizing, like, if the poison is what killed him, then it's technically not a suicide. If you ask someone, like, I feel like under the rules of the game, right? If you were to ask someone to shoot you, and they shot you, the other person would be considered the murderer, even if the victim wanted it. So whoever threw the killing grenade would be the murderer under the rules of the game.
Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene.
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not knowing.
Don't say that.
And we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments.
He's gonna realize it. What is this feeling just now? Even though it's brief, it was like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. Maybe what Akane said just now might be a new clue. From there, I might be able to reach the answer. If I were to just play a simple game of Hangman. Okay, fire grenade. Yep, fire grenade, okay. Fire, so we do need an R eventually. Looking for an I. Grenade. I can't really talk during this, I think. We have to like stay on top of it, because I didn't need to do that. If we let ourselves get overrun. Grenade. How do I spell grenade? Oh no! Looking for an N. We do need an A eventually. And a D, and one E to end things. This one was like significantly easier.
I got it! I see! I got it!
Huh?
The fire grenades! Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place.
So it's definitely possible for it to be, like, there doesn't actually have to be a killer then, I guess. Like, if Nagito manipulated one of us into throwing the fatal grenade, like, dude, that's actually, if that's what they go for, and we have to execute someone who never intended to murder, I mean, it's fucked up, but I would actually think that's incredible.
As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse.
Now, the
It can be
only
hidden
problem
with
with
the other fire
that...
grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container
Well, I
later.
guess they did grab all the fire grenades, but there is technically the possibility that they would have only grabbed, like, one grenade each and left the fatal one back there.
That bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade?
Yeah, that has to be it.
When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but The canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid.
Ah, a layer of aluminum. You mean aluminum paper, Sonia?
You just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right?
That is true, but there was no sign he was even at the break room.
So, I mean, obviously you have to kind of put suspicion on Sonia because she's the one that mentioned the fire grenades, but the thing that I think somewhat clears her is that she made mention of the fact that there used to be supplies there, which is not something I would think you would mention if you were trying to, like, not make the fire grenades seem suspicious, because by mentioning that there's other supplies there previously, it's like, well, they were obviously removed so that we would look at the fire grenades as the only available option.
Hold on. Did you say aluminum?
Did you say aluminum tubes?
Hajime.
Do I have to tell you what you can do with aluminum?
If so, then there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right now.
Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Huh?
Sonia's word, I didn't read the question, I was too busy drinking water, contain a clue that the contents of a fire grenade were swapped with the poison. What am I doing? It's like annoying, when you hit display problem, it will let you select, but you can't back out. Paper.
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Next to his porn collection, of course.
That's just a piece of trash.
You're a piece of trash.
No.
That's not true, I'm sorry,
That is not
Fuyuhiko.
just a piece of trash. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum.
You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed?
So now the question is, were all of the fire grenades tampered with, or was it just that one that Sonia had? Because if it's just the one, Sonia, sorry, we're gonna be executing you.
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room.
Now that's an interesting moral dilemma. Do we execute Sonia, even though she's not really guilty, and sacrifice ourselves? Or do we sacrifice Sonia for the good of the group?
We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade?
That's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in and died, right? So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide! Enough already!
Kazuichi, we got some bad news coming about your girl.
You're right. If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all.
See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
I mean, if they're doing what I'm assuming they're doing, where it's that someone accidentally killed Nagito, like Nagito's a fucked up piece of garbage.
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You're right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
So they are going with this angle, which I respect. I think it's because really that's one of the things I've mentioned throughout the game is that, like, there haven't really been that many, like, moral quandaries when it comes to executing. Like, they try and make it seem like there is, like, oh, you're supposed to feel bad for these guys. But in every situation, the murderers, like, even if maybe the original murder, like, you could maybe find an excuse for, the fact that they then went on to cover it up and accepted that doing so meant everyone else in the class would have to die for them to survive kind of makes them a piece of garbage, but this is like a very, very interesting moral quandary.
What did you say?
Hey, what are you planning to say now?
Now, I do think we execute Sonia if the choice is everyone dies or she lives. I think it's what she would probably want anyway. I mean, but at the same time, I can definitely understand, like, I don't know.
What the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it.
The horrifying truth?
You know, Hajime. You can put it together.
It probably happened at the same time.
The moment the fire grenades were brought and the moment Nagito breathed in the poison were the same. Could that moment be when we all threw the grenades?
I see!
Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades?
So I guess the question here is that we have to figure out, was it just Sonia's grenade that was tampered with, or was it all of our grenades? Because they haven't really established how it works when, like, if multiple people were to kill someone at the exact same time. Like, because in a lot of ways you could think of this as being like a firing squad situation, right? Where if you don't know, typically in a firing squad, one of the guns is loaded with a blank so that there's a bit of moral, like, ambiguity so that each person can tell themselves that they didn't fire the fatal shot. So if all of the grenades were tampered with, then it's like, which one of us would actually be the killer?
Yeah, I think so.
But
When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse.
I'm guessing it was just Sonia's grenade because she mentioned having the aluminum thing on there.
The poison was
And he only
deployed,
had one aluminum.
and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was...
So just for this, like, moral incident here at the end, if this is, like, the way they play it, this is definitely the best trial in the series up to this point.
One of us.
What the heck?
Just because it asks an interesting question.
One of us.
Of what's
threw
the right thing to do?
Grenade that killed Nagito?
Hold on a sec. Then Nagito was...
It would mean he didn't kill himself.
What the heck? But you said so yourself! You said Nagito committed suicide!
Then who killed Nagito?
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Do you know?
Who prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito?
Huh? The person who prepared it was, one of us, right?
Crap!
No? Is it... Well, wait, who prepared the poison fire grenade? I mean, Nagito's the one who poisoned it.
I see!
It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few
But that
minutes
doesn't
ago.
mean anything. If you load a gun and somebody else uses it to shoot you, the other person is still the killer.
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poisoned grenade?
Once again, it doesn't matter. The person who set the warehouse fire was Nagito.
I see!
That was also Nagito.
Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question?
The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now, why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire?
So, we would kill him to make someone throw the poison.
I see!
Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades?
Remember when I said, why the hell are we trying to put out the fire in the first place?
He set the fire just so
See?
we'd put it out?
If everyone would just listen
Why
to
did he
me,
do that?
we would be in a much better situation.
It was a trap.
A trap?
Preparing the poison. Creating a reason for us to throw the poison. It was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poisoned grenade.
Seriously, I'm asking you who threw it.
I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either.
Huh? Could it be... Was that Nagito's trap?
This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do. And for that reason, he put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades. Setting up a murder nobody can solve. That was Nagito's true goal.
It's very good. I'm a huge fan.
What the hell?
Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him?
This is probably like the first time in the series that I felt like they did something like a really, really interesting twist. Like, I'm very impressed with this. I like the situation and the question that it asked.
To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poison grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point. All the fire grenades we threw at the curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, was able to breathe in the dense poison.
Oh, maybe he should have just not breathed if he didn't want to die. Therefore, he willingly chose to breathe in the gas, and it was a suicide. Checkmate. I win. We're all okay.
And then...
Hold on. If that's true, you can't say the poison was the cause of death. It might be the poison's fault he let go of the spear, but the actual cause of death could be either one.
Even so, the poison is what caused him to let go of the spear.
That's right! Nagito's killer is the one who made him breathe the poison!
Are you fucking serious?
That was his trap all along. Even the wounds all over his body, it was all to mess with the evidence for what actually happened.
While Nagito is obviously a piece of human garbage, he is definitely, like, climbing the power rankings by being, like, an actually interesting, like, and crafty killer.
His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us that there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses.
He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end. However, he also prepared a mystery that couldn't be solved. As you solve mysteries and bolster your hope, a huge mystery comes along and slaps you in your faces. For those of you who believe there are no unsolvable mysteries, that is when you finally taste despair. Meaning, he used all of the prior class trial verdicts to prepare this trick.
It's very good. Like, I can't praise it enough.
Not all mysteries can be solved. Such a devious trick he played on you, as expected of Nagito.
That's totally messed up.
But I mean, if we know it's only one container was messed with, and Sonya mentioned that hers was... I mean, maybe... I feel like she implied that one of her bottles was the one that had the aluminum, like, messed with. So I feel like, wouldn't it have just been her?
It is my fault, because I told you all about the fire grenades. I am so sorry. Please vote me as a killer.
That's not the fucking issue here.
It's not Miss Sonia's fault. This is all Nagito's doing.
But what should we do? How can we even figure out who the killer is?
It's impossible.
Impossible?
Nagito wanted to create a scenario where we couldn't make a decision. That's why we're at an impasse.
So you just gotta take a freaking... It's Russian roulette, dude. There's 6 of us. 1 is the right answer.
However, Monokuma also does not know who the killer is, right?
That's right. There's no way he'd be able to figure that out with just his surveillance cameras. If Monokuma doesn't know, this trial doesn't count. Isn't that right?
Well, technically, I mean, they could review the footage and figure out who was the one that picked up the tampered with canister, so he could know.
You know, I don't actually need stuff like cheap-ass surveillance cameras or whatever.
I'm basically omniscient because of the script.
I know perfectly well what's happening on this island at all times. I know you used the bathroom 3 times yesterday, Sonya. And one of those visits seemed to take a while.
It seems like a kind of low amount of bathroom trips. Sonya, are you drinking enough?
Please stop! I will never become queen!
How can you?
Also, we're at like an hour and 18 minutes.
I mean,
I didn't even realize.
have such an
I was
awful
so caught up. I was lost in the sauce of Nagito's great trap. All right, we're gonna stop here. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Next video, we will wrap up the class trial, figure out who we need to sacrifice to the Monokuma gods. I'm guessing Sonya? Or you know what? Maybe Hajime should take the bullet. As the main character, he should sacrifice himself like Makoto did, and then hope nonsense bullshit saves us. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.